Once the system has been installed, how you configure it makes a big difference to your payback. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. The natural instinct is to maximize self-sufficiency, to use as much of your own solar as possible and then buy as little from the grid as you can. But maximizing self-sufficiency is not the same thing as maximizing savings. Most modern battery systems have a time of use mode that works with your electricity tariff. Instead of just storing solar for later use, the battery charges overnight when electricity is cheapest, at around 7 pence per unit on the right tariff, and then uses that cheap electricity during the day. Any excess solar is exported back to the grid at a higher rate. In our 1-year case study with a Tesla Powerwall 3, the system only covered 56% of the house's electricity needs, which doesn't sound very impressive on paper. But because it was configured for time of use rather than self-consumption, it delivered over £1,800 in total value in its first year. The general rule of thumb is that 60 to 80% grid independence is where you can achieve a very attractive rate of return while also offsetting a large chunk of your electricity consumption. Beyond that, you're scaling the battery primarily to cover yourself during deep winter, when the solar generation is at its lowest and demand is at its highest. So the extra storage capacity that you've bought for those winter months sits largely underused for the other 9 months of the year, and that idle capacity pulls down the return on the rest of the system. That's the difference between a system that looks good on a monitoring app and a system that's actually making you the most money. See that video for the full year's figures.